The anti-feminist parts of the internet are a network for men who feel like they are being hurt by a society that focuses on women. In a recent Facebook discussion, a group of divorced men from Spain talked about false accusations, the damage done by the gender violence law, and claims like feminism kills more people than sexism. In a more humorous tone, a well-known male forum was discussing for the umpteenth time whether women look for attractiveness, money, or status in their partners and came to the conclusion that no matter what, TDS PTS, which is an acronym for they're all whores, was true in any case. At the same time, an adult man was making money on YouTube by giving tips on how to master the game of seduction. He said, in essence, that it is better to insult your prey than to praise it. And a younger man explained on TikTok how the body count affects women after they are no longer in their prime, that is, if they have had many relationships, no one will be interested in them after a certain age. And in another part of the internet where people talk about maxillofacial exercises to make their chins stand out, a young man said, "It's ridiculous how many shitty experiences I've had, and I'm not just talking about small bouts of depression like most incels have had. I always fail badly with women and people in general, who seem to have a good reason to dislike me. I'm indeed ugly and a little bit shy. After going through so much unfairness myself, I sometimes like to look at the pain of others." All of this is happening in the manosphere, which is a group of online forums, websites, blogs, YouTube channels, and social media profiles that defend a misogynistic view of masculinity and make people feel threatened by the system, women, and feminism in general. Elisa Garcia Mingo, a Spanish sociologist who spent a year in online spaces like Forochoches, Hispacan, and Spalamy, watching content made by well-known creators like Papa Maravilla. Roma Gallardo, or un hombre blanco hetero, a white hetero man, says that there has been an anti-feminist retreat that sees itself as countercultural, even though it defends many traditional male roles. She and another researcher, Silvia Das Fernandez, wrote a report called Young People in the Manosphere: How Digital Misogyny Affects How They See Sexual Violence. The FAD Foundation paid for the report. Garcia Mingo is sitting in her office at Madrid's Complutense University School of Political Science, which is probably the farthest place from the manosphere in terms of ideas. On the door of a bathroom, someone has written, "Feminism will be intersectional or it will not be." The manosphere is less dangerous in Spain than in other places, she says. There have been violent acts that were planned online in the US, Canada, the UK, and Sweden, and authorities are closely watching the radicalization of what they call incel terrorism. In Scandinavia, police are looking into ties to white supremacists. In Italy, they are looking into ties to neo-fascism. Last year, the European Union asked for a report on the subject. In Spain, where the manosphere has connections with far-right parties like Vox and organizations like Oste or, but it is part of a cultural war and more like a bar scene, says the sociologist, who does not downplay its importance. It supports a way of talking that makes sexual violence seem like nothing and denies gender violence. She says that what worries her the most is how easily and subtly kids find this content and how they internalize it, turning it into something emotional that you can't argue against with facts or arguments. For example, a boy who starts dating girls and Google's flirt will quickly find hostile, sexist, and even self-harming information. Garcia Mingo says, "As parents, we worry a lot about porn, but we don't even think about this." A FAD report from 2021 says that 1 in 5 men in Spain between the ages of 15 and 29 think that violence based on gender is an ideological invention. Even though 50.4% of people think it's a serious problem, this view has dropped 4 points since 2017. Misogyny spreading from the internet to the real world is called pollination by the expert. All of the people who answered talked about men-only WhatsApp groups where they felt safe, calling them trusted places where men didn't feel judged. The groups. There are different subcultures in the manosphere's jungle: MRAs, MGTOW, incels. On websites and forums, this caste system is talked about in great detail, as if someone were describing a Tolkien universe or a deck of Pokemon. Some people fight for men's rights, MRA. Men have been mistreated, especially when it comes to child custody, and they want the law to change. The sociologist says, they attack progressives and woke people. They give clear speeches, and many of them are lawyers. Their goal is to create a new ideological framework and change society. Then there are the more neoliberal flirt gurus, PUA, which stands for pickup artists, who have turned their activity into a business by professionalizing it. Along with them, there are politically incorrect YouTubers who are misogynistic and have audiences from all walks of life. The study also looked at several stories about women who are against feminism and have high symbolic value. Then there are MGTOWs, which stands for men going their own way. Their misogyny doesn't affect them financially or socially. They don't want to change anything, so they stay on the sidelines. They are done with relationships, and their speech is more cynical. There aren't many of them in Spain, but there are more of them than there are incels, says Garza Mingo, referring to a younger, angry, nihilistic, and self-deprecating fringe group. In many misogynistic forums, the word itself is used as an insult. Don't be an incel, people say to each other. Incels are seen as wankers, crybabies, and weirdos. In the end, the men in all of these subcultures feel like they are victims of discrimination because they live in a society that they think is too focused on women. They are looking for a sense of belonging as a group. They are not so much looking for information as they are looking for comfort. No universe is complete without its complicated language. Men can be alphas, sigmas, betas, chads, normies, and manlets. Feminists are called allies, manginas, or shoulder boys. Some gymsels do look making, and the word hypergamy is used to describe the imbalance between the sexes. There is also a founding myth, which is a scene from the movie Matrix, which was made by two transgender women, Lily and Lana Wachowski. In the scene, Morpheus shows Neo 2 pills. If he takes the blue one, he will continue to live in blissful ignorance and be a slave in the prison of his mind. If he chooses the red one, he will find the Matrix and find out why the world has always seemed strange to him. In the manosphere, the red pill man knows that his frustrations and failures are all because of a gynocentric plot. In the movie, Keanu Reeves leaves a comfortable reality to go to a dystopia. However, the red pill doesn't work like that. Instead, it gives you the safety of an echo chamber where your opinions are validated by a group of peers. The manosphere has made a few more pills. The most popular one, after the red one, is the black one, which kills all hope that things will get better. This makes MGTOWs and incels feel like they have no future. The most extreme level of misogyny is reached gradually by crossing thresholds, says the sociologist, first on open websites, then on subscription forums, then in shielded environments, private chats, and deep internet forums. She says that the manosphere works best because it fills an emotional void and takes care of many men's needs. Especially the younger ones who are part of a generation of girls who are very aware of feminism. Many feel misunderstood, and they go to these spaces to get information and make connections because they are very lonely, says the expert. So, identity networks are made that build a masculinity out of anger, frustration, and pride that has been hurt. We won't be able to stop the growing misogyny without taking into account the social and emotional needs of men, says the expert. We need to understand it to fight it.